Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So we've just finished the show on the club, and throughout the whole game of us watching Arsenal against Liverpool 2-2, a game where teams are fighting for the title, fighting for points at the upper end of the table, all I could think about was how badly wrong it's going at Manchester United and how horrible it's been this season. We've played 14 games, we've won 4 of them. Those 4 wins coming against, listen to this, Fulham, Barnsley, Brentford and Southampton. Just that alone tells you how bad it's been. We've won 4 of the games this season, and those are the games we've won against teams that we should be beating and should be beating comfortably. There's been other fixtures like today, West Ham, a team that usually you go into the London Stadium and it's going to be a difficult game. You know it is. But we were going up today against a West Ham side that haven't been in form this season. Lost against Spurs last week 4-1. I know they beat Ipswich, but even before that, 5-1 defeat against Liverpool, 3-0 defeat against Chelsea. They drew against Fulham. Like, this isn't a team that have been pulling up trees. Despite the fact they had a really good window and you'd think, West Ham are a good team. They haven't been. And today, Manchester United allowed them to get 3 points. Now, you can look at the fact that I don't think it was ever a penalty. We shouldn't have conceded that penalty that we conceded. I don't think it was a foul. I don't think VAR should have intervened. You can also look at the fact that Manchester United, including one of the worst misses I've ever seen. I don't think I've seen anything bad as bad as that in the Man United shirt. I remember Ronaldo missed one from about 4 or 5 yards out, got it over them. Ryan Giggs missed one against Arsenal in an FA Cup game when Fergie kicked the boot at Beckham. I don't think I've seen anything as bad as this since then, and this was horrific. Diogo Dalot gets past the goalkeeper. He does well to get into that position. Then he's got the whole goal to aim at. And he somehow hits some really awkward volley, which sends it not only wide, but also too high. Like, what the hell are you doing? And it come after Manchester United had missed chances through Alejandro Garnacho had 2 sitters that he missed. He hit the post with one. Should have been scoring at least one of those. Bruno Fernandes has a header, which he should have been scoring. Usually scores. I think Bruno Fernandes was excellent today, by the way. Some of his passing was delightful. But he missed that chance. He should have been taking that chance. Højlund had a chance. Rashford had a chance. Some of the chances we were missing were just unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. And in the first half, we should have been 4-5 up, and you're thinking, what Manchester United am I watching here? But we didn't take those chances, and you just knew they'd come back to haunt us. And it did exactly that. The second half, they made a whole load of changes. Souček came on, Somerville came on, Todibo came on. We were linked to Todibo in the past. He had a good game and he came on as well. And Somerville, he looked really lively. He got a goal for them to put them 1-0 up. Then we get back level and you're thinking, go and score a goal that could give us a winner. And West Ham were looking a little bit fragile. Maybe we could go and do that. But no, we don't. The substitutions we were making were horrendous. And they have been throughout the whole season. The manager has to take a look at that. He took Marcus Rashford off today. Granted, he brought Amad Diallo on. And I like Amad Diallo. And I want to see Amad Diallo playing for Manchester United. But Amad Diallo is a player that you've been showing no faith in for the last couple of weeks. You brought Anthony on ahead of him the other day. And you're taking Rashford on when Rashford still had more to offer in the game. It was just a really baffling one. And you look at the team we selected today. The back 4, I'm fine with that. The midfield, I'd like Kobbie Mainoo to be available. Maybe you could play Manuel Ugarte, but you can't really complain about the midfield. And the front line, Højlund, Rashford, and Garnacho. There's been a lot of talk about injuries from the manager. Look at the team we're putting out. The team is good enough. I don't want to hear any excuses. And whilst today the penalty decision was awful, we had the chances, and you can say, let's blame the players because the players missed these chances. And if they score, a Man United win, which is true. But at the end of the day, we've won 4 games this season out of 13. It doesn't seem to be getting any better. The performances aren't good enough. The players that we usually rely on to pull us out and score goals, they're not performing. The manager isn't getting... And I don't think the squad's dreadful at all. Yes, we haven't got a left back at the moment. Have a go with Harry Amas then. We've got Diogo Dalot, we've got Mazraoui, players that can play in those positions. There's no excuses for what we are seeing at the moment. And this comes after 3 years under Erik ten Hag. 3 years, we've been waiting and giving him excuses, waiting for him to get his signings in, waiting for him to get players that he wants. And the facts are, the football isn't getting any better. And I can't see it getting any better. We've got 4 home games coming up. I think we play Leicester twice. We play Chelsea at home, who will probably batter us in the form they're in, and we play PAOK as well, the Greek side. We've got 4 home games coming up. In your head you go, surely we go and win them and get on a run. But even if we did do that, do you feel it's going to get any better further down the line? I don't. And I think it's come to a point in time where this board need to make a decision. And I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if their decision was already made. If they had made their decision at the last international break. And I wouldn't be surprised if it comes by the time we hit the next international break, if not before then. Because maybe you go, all right, we have to look for a manager. You can give Ruud van Nistelrooy to the end of the season or to the Christmas or till we get an appointment or whatever. But surely those 4 games, any other manager would do better with. Because at the moment, the performances aren't offering anything to give us hope. There's just nothing to be hopeful about. And you read some of the quotes after the game as well. Like, Jesus, what is going on? This is some of the quotes from Ten Hag. In this moment, definitely the luck is not on our side. Luck! It is not about me. Last season was not different. But in the end, we turned it around. We turned it around. We finished 8th. I loved winning the FA Cup. I loved winning the League Cup. Trophies are massively important and I think they carry some weight. But you cannot finish 8th. We've seen it with Jose Mourinho. We've seen it with Louis van Gaal. You can win trophies, but ultimately if your league form isn't good enough, you're not going to be able to stick around. I wanted him to be given the time to work with Barada, work with Ineos, work with Ashworth, all these guys. But right now I'm struggling to find any reason to be giving this guy time. And when I look at the quotes, it just leaves me more baffled. We are so determined it will be the same again as in turning it around. We have to turn it around, and we will. And he also talks about 3 times this season we feel injustice, unfair and unjust the way we conceded the penalty. I spoke with the officials, but decision is made. There's no way back. It has a big impact on our team and on our scores where we are in the table. One of those other times he's talking about is Bruno Fernandes sending off against Spurs. And look, I think we could have maybe still gone on and won the game, maybe the second half. But the performance was dreadful before Bruno Fernandes got sent off. You're not really using that as an excuse for that performance that day, are you? Because Manchester United were on a hiding to nothing before Bruno got sent off. And Bruno getting sent off just kind of compounded that. When I hear the manager speak, I'm not here getting any more hope. And I think all hope is gone, to be honest, that he's going to turn this around. And I wouldn't be surprised is if the board hadn't already made their mind up after that Spurs catastrophe, after the fact we haven't won in a year in Europe, then they would have definitely made their mind up today. Because as much as we miss chances and as much as it shouldn't have been a penalty, I don't see it getting any better. For real. Horrendous. Anyway, I've been AdamMcKola. I'm out of here. Let us know your thoughts. I'll see you in a bit. It looks like we're about to be sacking another manager. If they don't, then I'm confused as to what the hell's going on. See you in a bit.